Hey, all you Atlas Earthlings, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here saying, hey, thanks for dropping by. As always, I appreciate the time you spent with me. Well, this video is coming out a little bit later in the day because I was busy completing my challenge ladder for the month. Yep. That's right, 5 days into the month, and I've completed the challenge ladder. And I'm going to do a little bit of an update on that, but I just wanted to get that out there. That's interesting that with the changes they put into play in January, I was able to complete them so fast. And I'm doing this video because there was a question that came up by one of my subscribers that I wanted to feature and go through that. If you've been playing along, this is the third month for the challenge system to be in play, and they've been adjusting the levels of the different challenges to bring in more here or less here, depending upon the weight and the value to Atlas Reality. I've been able to complete all 3 months. This is interesting to me because I've completed January in 5 days. So how this will look going forward, I'm sure they'll take a look at the numbers and adjust for February, but we're still in this moment of flux with the program. With that said, before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, if you're new here, if you were just checking around for play-to-earn games, that sort of things, one of the games I cover on this channel is Atlas Earth. It's a mobile game where you purchase land, and there's a bunch of different activities you can do in the game to earn the Atlas bucks to go ahead and purchase the game or purchase land. And the more land you have and the higher rarities of land you have, the more you actually earn that can be removed from the game as real rent, real money, basically. So there's a lot of details to it, but if you watch a few videos and want to start playing, I will leave a link in the show notes and directly after this video that covers basically all the details of what it takes to get in and what the game is about. So check that out first. And if you want to get in and start playing, please use my link in the show notes to start playing, and you will benefit from it as well as I do. You'll get 200 free Atlas bucks when you hit your 11th parcel, and I'll get out 100 of it along your way as well. So appreciate it. Now, I wanted to feature this question because I had at least 2 other people that asked this similar question. I couldn't find the replies off the videos, so I'm featuring this one from Craig Goodner, 509. Shout out to Craig. Here is his reply. The challenges present a significant obstacle for some participants, including myself, due to the inability to complete surveys. I will not be participating in the AMP or travel challenges. Is it feasible to achieve the required goals and receive the parcel without completing these specific challenges? Okay, to answer this question, we're going to reference a couple charts that are being upkept by some members of the community. I want to give a shout out to Annalise CW, Matt Smith, aka KC Fan, and also Cashul. Okay, these members are all in this upkeeping the charts. Every month they change due to the game changing, being in constant flux. So this gives people some reference points if you want to kind of plan out your game. But next month there could be a lot different. So shout out to them first of all. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, I've heard this question come forward, and basically it's from people that either do not want to use the travel program, which I'm in that bucket, right? I don't use the travel program because I don't travel very often, okay? If I did, I would probably try to use it. Or the AMP program, maybe they're in an area where there's no AMP program, or maybe they've just financially chosen not to. I use the AMP program. There are several of these buckets, if you will, that are heavily weighted because, in my way of thinking, that's what the company, Atlas Reality, gets more money out of. So they're going to more heavily weight them with points to make it easier. So going forward, basically to answer his question, let's look at the chart. We've got the chart up here from this month, and once again, being upkept by the people I mentioned earlier. The fields in dark gray are unknowns at this point, okay? And what I want to do is I want to go forward and I tell you, like I mentioned earlier, some of them are more heavily weighted, and you get more points for them because the team makes more of them. That means the completing of the surveys. That means the conversion of the VR to Atlas bucks. That means the book travel. That means the AMP mission. These are all things that the team makes money on the backside on. So you're going to get more points off of them, right? Okay. Now, a lot of these that you would participate in that don't specifically take money, they take Atlas bucks, but not money, are the mini games. And these are basically hosted by Atlas Reality, and it basically costs them in some instances. So obviously they're not going to give a whole lot of points for those games. So keep in mind, we have some dark gray boxes here that are unknowns presently, and they factor into my answer to this question. Okay, so pay attention to that. We don't know if there's going to be a second. There should be a second SRB boost this month, and my figuring would be it would probably be 25 points if you can go through. So it's weighted very small, and there should be, but I'm not certain if there's going to be a fourth section of mini games. And once again, they're lightly their points. They don't weigh very hard heavily with points. And I also expect that there are some more tiers, 2 more tiers of buy badges if you want to get points for that. And I would just a rough assumption would be that the 3rd tier would take 3 badges and it would give you 55. And the 4th tier would take 4 badges and it would give you 65. That's just an assumption. Due to the fact that the amount of points needed to complete the overall challenge this month has come down from 2,500 to 1,500. We're probably seeing, just like I completed mine today, I completed, I completed level 2 and 3 in maybe 2 of the mini games, and I won't need to play the rest, right? So there probably is another level of mini games, and I'm assuming that the next level will draw 45. If you're looking at 246, I'm assuming that the progression would be 8 wins and it would get you 45 points. So where I'm going with this, let's go ahead and take a look at the next. This is the chart that the Annalise, CW, and the other guys have been upkeeping. So shout out to them for doing this work for everybody. And I'll leave the links to these in the show notes. This is up to date. Obviously, after this is put out, as things go forward, if new things are added, then this will be, this is currently accurate going forward. There'll be more stuff added to it, most likely. You can see here just by the columns, the rightmost column is with AMP and travel, with AMP, free path, and task value. Now, what Craig is actually asking is taking away 2 of the highly weighted sections of the game as far as earning points. Okay, but on the flip side, those do cost you money as well. That's why they're highly rated, and the team gets more profit off of them. So that's where they're at. So the question is, can he complete, or can anyone expect to complete the challenge ladder without doing travel and without doing the AMP program? And I believe the answer is yes. But once again, it comes down to some of those variables in gray here, okay? And it would require you to finish most of these mini games, if not all through all levels, level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and possibly pick up some points somewhere else. But where we stand currently, let me bring up my calculator. Currently, without any of the extra mini games, or without that next level of boost during SRB, or possibly the next level of buy badges, the maximum you can earn is 1,345 points without, once again, doing the AMP program or doing any of the travel program. This is shy of the 1,500 points needed to finish out the ladder. So this answers this question. Is it possible? I believe so, but you're going to have to push through level 4 of a bunch of these mini games, as well as take advantage of doing the rest of it. Boost, do all the boost non-SRB, do all the boost during the super rent boost, do all your conversions of virtual rent to Atlas bucks, all the way through purchase parcels, all the way through arcade games, and also do some of the badges. I don't think you'll have to do all of the badges, but it's going to hinge definitely on you completing all of your mini games in level 4, and that's going to come down to timing because depending upon how they fall in the month, they usually start every 2.5 to 3 days. You're going to have to plow through those and also make up some of the extra points here that you're not making up in the surveys. As far as surveys go, I've had pretty decent luck. I get a lot of failures. I get into the surveys and I spend 10 or 12, 15 minutes on a survey, and then something happens and I end up having to restarting. Something like that. Maybe if I had to take a guess, I would probably say that maybe 40% of the surveys I actually go through and I get credit out of. So I can see why, and obviously different. There's a lot of variables in whether they want to use your survey. What's your race? What's your age? Where do you live? And, all those other questions they ask us. So I can see why he's having a little problem of it. But I really think that this challenge system is made easier by doing the surveys, because the surveys represent time if you can get in and use them, but they don't represent money out of your pocket. I also love the AMP program, but I can understand there's a lot of people I've heard talk about that there's very few places around where they live that have the AMP program. I guess I'm lucky where I have a handful of different providers that I can get into and use. And you'll notice that they brought the AMP mission requirement down. But like we said in a previous video, they're getting ready to change things up a little bit and put a minimum on, completing that AMP program. I still think it's very fair because they've brought the completion of the AMP program missions down to 1 each. If you can take advantage of those, you get a fair amount of points. Okay, now we're over here on my phone. I just wanted to scroll through here. You can see that I went ahead and I completed it this month. Removing that extra 1,000 points needed to complete the program obviously made it a lot easier to complete. Like I said, it's the 5th day in the month and I've completed it. And it'll be interesting to hear Manning talk about how the new system is going, because obviously it's a fine line balance between making it not too easy, but you don't want to scare people away. You'd rather have people subscribe to the program. And like I've said in the past, I think I get plenty of value out of the program at $10 a month. Let's jump over here and look at the challenges. You can see the challenges I completed. And I went out, and one of the big things I was surprised by is the 3rd level or the 4th level of purchase parcels popped up on me, and I went out and did it. Nothing exciting. I still have more common percentage than average, and lower than average percentage on everything else. But with that said, I'm still working through it. I was surprised that they really brought down the 4th level of purchase parcel to 10. So it's, I'll take a look at it here in a minute, but it's a lot less parcels required to purchase to advance through that specific challenge this month. But like I said, I advanced through all 4 tiers of purchase parcel. I did the bowling match, first 3 levels. I completed surveys, completed the AMP mission, first 3 levels. You can see I did worship, 2 levels. I've only done the first level of arcade goal. I am still playing arcades, but I'm focusing on games that I'm significantly into. It's just taking a long time to work through get the final tier of bonuses out of them. They end up paying off really nicely, but it takes quite a while. So I didn't really work on the arcade goals for points. Obviously, the non-super rent boosts. AMP missions, me, I've talked about them before. I guess I'm blessed to have several places in the area that are part of the AMP program. And that's an interesting discussion point we'll have to have, because that's changing in a big way here pretty soon. And I completed the first 3 levels of survey, I believe, and then the boost, non-super rent boost. And I only did 1 level of convert virtual rent, I believe, this month. No, 2. I did the first 2 levels, but that's only $3, right? So just to wrap a bow on this and finish this up, I think to answer Craig's question, I think the answer is yes. You can go ahead and complete the challenge ladder if you don't do any of the travel or AMP missions. However, it will require you to go through all the mini games. Well, most of the mini games to level 4, as well as either get your buy badges, get the points out of the buy badges to level 2 or 3, or do your boost during SRB at least to level 1, if not level 2. So there's a little bit of play area here. I think it is possible. Obviously, they weight these other challenges, such as the book travel, the AMP missions, and complete surveys a little bit more heavily because they make money off of this. So there's the answer. I hope that gives you what you need to know to play. So just to wrap things up, this is what I'm looking like now. My next tier ends at 625, so you see I have a little bit of playroom there, but I had went out to complete that final level 4 of purchase 10 parcels. I went ahead and did it, and I bought some extra parcels just to complete a full box around my area. But I have some extra parcels that I'm going to start working on a second area, and I'm going to start putting them in that new area. So we can see that I have a little cushion there, but I'm still doing pretty good. Getting that extra badge per month as part of the, competing in the challenges also helps when you complete the ladder. So I'm building those up, and here in a little while, I will start working on my 4th section of badges, which when complete will get me to 20% boost. So all in the future, but I think I've got a good start going in January. Let me know how you're doing. Did you get January off to a good start? Did you decide to subscribe to the challenge ladder? If so, what do you think about it? It's in constant flux. It'll be interesting to see what they do for February. I don't know if it depends upon the numbers. Obviously, they're trying to shoot to, make it a little bit easier to get more people to subscribe to it. So it's a fine line that they're playing with now. So anyway, I hope everyone has gotten off to a good start in 2025. This has been Bronze Dragon. Hey, thanks for watching the show. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, why not? I'll see you in Atlas Earth.